The Oscars are coming up, and it's high time we discuss a true dumpster fire. The Oscar bait Spanish language French musical crime film, I put that loosely, Emilia, Perez.
Quiero ser una mujer.
¿Quiere decir físicamente mujer?
Sí.
Today we will cover the meteoric rise and the shocking fall of this trash movie that I absolutely haven't watched. Emilia Perez is a movie made by a French team about Mexican drug cartels in which a drug lord has a sex change and starts fighting the cartels. Also, it's a musical, inconceivably, and the director doesn't speak Spanish and hates musicals. This is all made clear by this travesty of a scene in which the lawyer is trying to get some information about a sex change from a doctor in this lovely musical ditty.
I'd like to know about sex change operation.
I see.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
I want to know it all. What is the protocol?
Mammoplasty.
Yes.
Vaginoplasty.
Yes.
And it's clear the director doesn't even know the most rudimentary Spanish because she should have been saying "sí" in that scene instead of "yes, vaginoplasty, sí." See how it just rolls off the tongue? What are we doing here, people? I could have written a better musical than this. This is like a musical that I wrote. It feels like parody. Someone on Twitter made the point that the story of Emilia Perez offers insight into the Hollywood psyche. It rose to prominence and then fell from grace, both times having absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the film or its acting. Somehow this movie received 13 Oscar nominations and won 4 Golden Globes, despite achieving a 16% score among the public on Rotten Tomatoes. Of course, it received a 76% score among critics, and it's clear that only happened because they were all afraid of being called transphobes. And of course, I'm sure they were afraid of being called transphobes because, yes, the actor playing the role of Emilia Perez is a trans woman named Carla Sofia Gascon, and Carla was nominated for Best Actress for the movie, the first time in Oscars history a biological male was nominated in this category. Women! 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 Snubbing Angelina Jolie. And now she has to sit there and clap. And for a brief shining moment, the movie and its star were media darlings, while Hollywood reveled in its diversity and inclusiveness and were so proud of themselves for breaking new ground, even though the movie was awful by almost everyone's standards. And then the backlash started. Popcorn! And oh, let me tell you how I enjoy stories like this because they are truly dumpster fires. A Muslim Canadian freelance reporter, Sarah Haji, began uncovering Carla Gascon's problematic and racist tweets about various topics like Hitler, Muslims, George Floyd, and even diversity at the Oscars, the true grab bag of bigotry. In one tweet, Gascon said Adolf Hitler simply had his opinion of the Jews.
I'm really, really sorry about your big noses.
This was just a guy with an opinion. There was no horrible crimes that occurred downstream of that opinion. In a Variety article, Haji was interviewed about resurfacing these tweets, and she mentioned a lot of the other tweets that she had found that mostly were pertaining to Gascon's views on Islam. But unbelievably, in this article, they didn't cover the Hitler tweet, which seems to be kind of the worst of all of the things that she said, from what I can tell. There was a lot of things she said that were presented as very horrible and racist, and some of the things were racist, but some of them were pretty mainstream opinions, particularly if you're in a Spanish-speaking country, but they weren't like...
Just not phrased the most PC way.
Yeah, they were politically incorrect.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they were... I mean, there was some racism and bigotry in there, obviously. Some of them, I was like,
I know. Well, the question was,
You're just
is
not
like,
allowed to say this.
did the reporter bring up the Hitler tweet, or was she just like, we'll just stay away from the Jews on this one?
She's like, other than the Hitler thing, which I absolutely do agree with, he did have some opinions on the Jews. Ironically, Gascon criticized the Oscars for their diversity in one tweet, saying more and more the Oscars are looking like a ceremony for independent and protest films. I didn't know if I was watching an Afro-Korean festival, a Black Lives Matter demonstration, or the 8M, which is slang for International Women's Day. Again, ironically, and some kind of Phetasy. And one post from September 2nd, 2020, attached to a photo of a Muslim family in a restaurant, including a woman in a burqa, read, Islam is marvelous without any machismo. Women are respected, and when they are so respected, they are left with a little squared hole on their faces for their eyes to be visible and their mouths, but only if she behaves, although they dress this way for their own enjoyment. How deeply disgusting of humanity!
Boy, that escalated quickly.
That was another one that was resurfaced. I love how they talk. We've always talked about this, like, oh, it was resurfaced like a dead body in a lake. Like, no, someone went digging for these things and found them just because of their journalistic curiosity.
Right. It didn't resurface. It was excavated.
Yeah. It is truly wild and brain melting, too, that a man in woman face is calling out the patriarchy of Islam. Like, what? It's what? Carla Sofia Gascon finally had a moment of truly feeling like a woman. She spoke out against Islam's oppression of women and was immediately canceled. I'm sorry, Carla. You may still win an Oscar, but you've lost the Oppression Olympics.
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman.
That's what this is.
Yep.
It's the Oppression Olympics. Welcome to womanhood.